Hi, this is the 3D printing lawyer. Today, I'm doing a short but deep dive on PLA. What do you know about it besides that it's made from corn? You might be trying to remember where you've heard about lactic acid before. It's what forms in our muscles after strenuous exercise that causes cramps. It's a byproduct of when your body needs to create energy anaerobically, which just means without oxygen, because of a shortage of oxygen in the muscles. Lactic acid is also what makes sourdough sour. A combination of yeast and lactic acid producing bacteria is used to make the dough rise. Lactic acid, PLA, is essentially polymerized lactic acid. Lactic acid is the byproduct of lactic acid producing microorganisms such as lactobacillus. The microorganisms are fed carbs, mostly from plant waste. We could use the waste from our green wheelie bins, but manufacturers mostly use corn. PLA used to be expensive and was only used in the medical world, but scientists have discovered more efficient microorganisms that can make the stuff more efficiently. From its history of use in medical applications, we know that PLA will not be toxic or carcinogenic in or up against the human body. The building block of PLA, the lactic acid, exists as either D or L enantiomers, which are basically mirror images of each other. Depending on the proportion of the D or L used in the PLA, you get variable properties in the plastic. Equal mixture results in a higher melting temperature of 230 degrees Celsius. But sometimes you want more flexibility or more hardness and aren't worried about high melting temps. The mixture also affects its ability to absorb water. Although we complain about our PLA absorbing water, it makes it more biodegradable. The D and L mixture isn't determined by the manufacturer though, as much as it's determined by the manufacturing process that the manufacturer is capable of or can afford. The cheapest method of polymerizing PLA may not result in the best combination. Since lactic acid reacts with itself, the cheapest, or at least the lowest tech method, is just with direct polycondensation, which is basically heating it up in a vacuum and sucking out the water byproduct, or alternatively, distilling it with a solvent. This results in a low molecular weight polymer though. The more expensive methods involve a process called ring opening polymerization, which for PLA involves solvents and metal catalysts, but doesn't release water as a byproduct. The most common polymers are the homopolymer PLA and its enantiomers PDLA, which are made of just the L or D enantiomers. Crystalline PLLA and PDLA show a glass transition temperature around 58 degrees Celsius and a melting point from 170 to 180 degrees Celsius. The difference between a glass transition and a melting point is that the glass transition temperature causes the crystals to separate, causing the plastic to get soft and start to deform. The melting point is when the crystals actually turn into liquid. PLA is technically biodegradable, making it better for the world. Even if PLA wasn't biodegradable, since it's not a petroleum-based plastic, but instead is plant-based, it lessens our need for non-renewable resources, such as oil. Although oil is also technically renewable, if you can wait long enough. Still, oil use is one factor in how we currently measure the size of our carbon footprint. So how do we apply this knowledge to our 3D printing? PLA will be stronger the faster you print it, because it will cool faster, allowing the crystals to orientate themselves. This will cause some shrinkage though. If you can't print fast, you can improve the crystalline structure by printing at a cooler temperature. Try to print from 200 to 210 degrees Celsius. Colorants added to PLA will help stop the PLA from shrinking, but of course will also make it weaker. Titanium oxide used to make white filament will tear up brass nozzles. Colored PLA will also require a higher temperature to melt, so you'll need increased cooling. Before we got printers with flow compensation, it was common to use print temperature to deal with under or over extrusion issues. There are some other characteristics of PLA to watch out for. Exposing PLA to extreme temperatures, even as low as 200 degrees Celsius, will degrade the PLA itself and result in poor mechanical performance of the printed product. Not only will water degrade PLA over time, but if the material is wet when printed, air pockets will form and weaken the final printed structure. Got questions? Drop them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe for more videos on 3D printing.